Hello, assalamu alaikum. Mehrunnisa Shapla is back again. How are you? I think everyone is fine and safe as usual, and everyone is staying at home. Dear students, I have already taken 4 classes, and today will be the 5th class. Today I'm going to start the class with a new topic, that is degree of comparison, and as usual with a PowerPoint presentation. But before presenting the slides, I want to talk about adjectives. Adjectives is a very common part of speech, and everyone knows what is an adjective. Okay, adjective. Adjective is a word that describes a noun when one thing or person is compared or contrasted with another or others in respect of of a certain attribute. We use a comparison that can express equality, superiority, or inferiority. It can also express the supremacy of one person or a thing. And most of the adjectives have 3 different forms to show degree of comparison, that is the positive, the comparative, and the superlative. So let's start the class with the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so dear students, the first slide there is an introduction of myself. In the second slide there is the name of the today's topic, that is degree of comparison. And in the third slide I'm going to describe about the 3 forms of adjectives or degree of comparison. The first one is the positive degree. Positive degree, it refers to the unaltered version of an adjective, such as good, smart, old, and tall, high, big, small, etc. But what does it mean, an unaltered version? That means unchanged form of an adjective. That is the root word, the root of an adjective. Like good, smart, old, tall, high, as I said. But what is the form? The form is so, in the positive degree, so adjective as or as adjective as. For example, John is as smart as Darcy. John is as smart as Darcy. Here smart is an adjective and this is the root word. Okay, we cannot add anything to it. This is the root word, root adjective. Okay. Now the second category is the comparative degree. It is used to compare two items. It may be two persons, it may be two things or two qualities. And the form of this degree is you should write adjective in comparative form. The form will be in comparative, and after that then. For example, he can run faster than Rosie. He can run faster than Rosie. Here faster is an adjective. Fast is the root word of it, and I have added ear to fast and it becomes faster. He can run faster than Rosie. Most of the time, it is formed by adding ear, but sometimes it is formed by more plus adjective, because sometimes we cannot add ear with adjectives. Like he is more handsome than his brother. He is more handsome than his brother. We cannot say handsomer. That is why I have to write more with handsome. Okay. Now the third category is the superlative degree. Superlative degree, it compares 3 or more items and is considered the greatest degree. It compares 3 or more items. It may be more, it may be 10, 100, thousands, etc. And it is considered the greatest degree. The form of this degree is here you have to use article with the adjective, and after that you have to est or ist will be added to the adjective. For example, John has the highest grade in this group. John has the highest grade in this group. Here highest is is an adjective and it is written in superlative degree. High is the root word and I have added est to high. So it becomes highest, the superlative degree. It means John has the highest quality in this group. John has the highest grade in this group. Sometimes it is formed by using most with the adjective. Like John is the most powerful man in this city. John is the most powerful man in this city. Here powerful, we cannot say powerfulest. That is why I have to use most. Okay. Now there is a table. This table will show you the rules of transformation, or these rules show you how can we change the positive degree into comparative, comparative into superlative, and vice versa. So look at the first rule. In this rule you will find that positive degree starts with no other. No other with the noun, after that verb, after this so adjective as and adjective as, and after this subject. This is very interesting, because subject normally a sentence starts with a subject. That means subject must be written in the first place of a sentence. But here in the positive degree you have already seen or already noticed that subject is written at the end of the sentence, at the end of the at the end of the sentence. Like no other man is as rich as John. No other, then noun man, then verb is, then as, adjective as, then after that I have written subject John. In a comparative degree, just look at the structure: subject, verb, adjective with ear or more with adjective, and after that then any other, and after that noun. So example is John is richer than any other man. John is richer than any other man. John, then verb, then richer, like adjective with ear, than any other man. And I can use more with the adjective, like John is more powerful than any other man. Okay, in superlative degree, the structure is subject, then verb, then article the, and after that adjective with est or iest, or most after adjective, most before the adjective, and rest of the sentence. So John is the richest man. John, then verb, the article, then richest man, and John is the most powerful man. Here I have used most. John is the most powerful man. Okay, in the next rule, this is very important. You have to notice very carefully that sometimes positive degree starts with very few. And if there is very few, this is very, very important. You have to remember that very few always takes plural noun and plural verb. Plural noun and plural verb, and after that, as usual, so adjective as or as adjective as, and then subject. Okay, look at the example. Very few men are as powerful as John. Very, very few men are as powerful as John. Very few men is a plural noun, are is a plural verb. Okay, in comparative form, look at the structure: subject, verb, adjective with ear or more plus adjective, then many other or most other. Look at this. I have written then any other in the first structure, and in this structure I have written many other or most other instead of then any other. So look at the example. John is more powerful than many other men. John then is more powerful than many other men. Men is a plural noun. This is very important, If you do not write men or plural noun, if there is very few in the positive degree, and in comparative degree, if you don't write men plural noun, or if you don't write men in positive degree, that is plural noun, all these sentences will be incorrect. Okay. So in the superlative form, subject as usual, subject then verb, and instead of article the, you have to write one of the. After that adjective with est or iest, and or most with adjective, and then plural noun. Here again I have written plural noun. Look at the example. John is one of the most powerful men. John is one of the, right, look at this, one of the most powerful men. That is plural noun. Okay, now in this slide I will show you the brief description of the rules that I have showed in the earlier slide. That is, if you find no other in positive degree, then you have to write than any other in comparative degree, and you have to write article the with superlative form in superlative degree. And if you find very few with plural noun and plural verbs like are, were, have, and you have to write than many other or than most other in comparative degree. And in superlative form, you have to write one of the instead of article the with the superlative form. This is the brief description of that long, long table. This is a short table. Okay, now there are another rule in a degree of comparison, that sometimes degrees are compared between two items or two persons or two things or two qualities or two places. At that time you cannot change those sentences into superlative degree. You have to change those sentences only into positive or into comparative. That means the comparison will be in will be between positive and comparative degree. Okay, just look at the example first. He is as good as his brother. He is as good as his brother. Here, the two persons are compared. Okay, two persons are compared. That means the comparison is between two persons. Okay, in comparative degree, this sentence will be changed like this way: his brother is not better than he. His brother is not better than he. Here, his brother in the first sentence, his brother, object becomes the subject. Excuse me. In the comparative sentence, just look at this: his brother is not better than he. Here, you have already noticed that I have written his brother as a subject, but his brother is an object in the positive degree. But in comparative degree, I have written his brother as a subject. His brother is not better than he. So the structure is, here object becomes the subject, verb, after that not, an adjective in comparative form, and after that object. Okay, in the next sentence, he is not as good as his brother. He is not as good as his brother, and in comparative form I have written his brother is better than he. Again his brother is object here in the positive degree, and in the comparative form I have written his brother as a subject. His brother as a subject, object becomes the subject, verb, adjective in comparative form, and then object. That means subject becomes the object. So this is another important thing, is that if the positive degree is written in the affirmative sentence, then you have to make it negative in the comparative sentence, like his brother is not better than he. And when positive degree is written in the negative sentence, then the comparative form will be written in the affirmative sentence. So this is very important and very interesting, as I said. Okay, now I will show you another table for you, that is the forms of comparisons, that is irregular adjectives, like good, positive degree, good, better. Comparison is comparative is better, then superlative is best. Positive in positive, bad. In comparative, bad is bad will be worse than worst in superlative degree. And little, positive degree is little, and in comparative degree is less, and then least in superlative degree. Much or many in the positive degree, and in comparative degree it will be more, and in superlative degree it will be most. And positive degree, late, in comparative degree it is later, and then last or latest in superlative degree. Far is in the positive form, and comparative form is further or further, and farthest is in the superlative form. In the next table, I'll show you some common adjectives that will be changed into comparative or superlative with more and most. Just look at this. The first one is beautiful. Beautiful is more beautiful in comparative and most beautiful in superlative. Powerful, this is more powerful in comparative and most powerful in superlative. Intelligent is more intelligent in comparative and most intelligent in superlative. Useful is more useful and in most useful. Precious is more precious and in superlative degree is most precious. And ferocious, positive degree, comparative degree is more ferocious and superlative degree is most ferocious. Okay. Now there are some other adjectives that are very, very, very common. I have just written some of them for you. Positive degree large, comparative degree larger, and superlative degree is largest. Great, greater, greatest. Fair, fairer, fairest. High, higher, highest. Tall, taller, tallest. Okay. Now there are some sentences I have written here to show how to change the sentences into sentences from positive to comparative or comparative to superlative and vice versa. Look at the examples. No other person in the village is as old as Mr. Rakib. No other person in the village is as old as Mr. Rakib. Comparative, Rakib is older than any other man in the village. Superlatives, Rakib is the oldest man in the village. Next sentence, no other wallet in the shop is as cheap as this. This is cheaper than any other wallet in the shop. And in superlative form, this is the cheapest wallet in the shop. Next sentence, very few person in the town are as bad as Jack. Jack is worse than most other persons in the town. Here, look at the sentence very carefully. Very few than persons, plural noun and plural verb are. Comparative, I have written than most other, and after that I have written persons, plural noun. And Jack is one of the worst persons in the town. I have written one of the and then persons, plural noun. Then again, very few places in Bangladesh are as beautiful as Rangamati. Rangamati is more beautiful than many other places in Bangladesh. Rangamati is one of the most beautiful places in Bangladesh. Okay, the last one is you are not as tall as she. This is positive degree in negative sentence, and in comparative sentence she is taller than you. She is taller than you. This is comparative degree, and these sentences cannot be changed into superlative degree because there are two items are compared to each other. Okay. Now this is all about the degree of comparisons. The rules are very easy. Okay. So dear students, I hope all of you have already come to know that degree of comparison is much more easier than the previous topics. Now what you should do is just follow the rules and practice according to them. And I think that is all for today. I'll stop today. That is all for today, and thank you. Stay safe, and see you in the next class, and Allah Hafiz.